Yeah, man, I've been doing rap music ever since the early '90s, man. Um, my inspirations was LL Cool J. I used to love KRS-One. Man, I used to, excuse me. I used to love hip hop, man. It was like it really wasn't too many people out there I didn't like back, and it was just the whole vibe of the '90s, man, that really kind of had me in a good place, as an artist, man. I was sitting there, I would write to everybody's music at the time. We really wasn't pushing CDs, we had tapes. I remember selling tapes at the gas station, man. I was rapping with a group called the 410 Dragons back then. And then when I left them, I was with a clique called Fam Tight Entertainment, man. So the 90s was a good era for music for me, man. I love being an LMC, man. I rapped with some of the greatest in the city of Baltimore, coming up in the 90s, man. And just to watch a lot of the MCs in Baltimore evolve, man, it was a beautiful thing just to watch. I'll tell you one thing, my biggest struggle, as an artist was I always had this raspy voice. So when I would go to the studio, I could never really get good production because the engineer couldn't really figure out, the right type of mix for my voice. So it was always a struggle, man. My music the production just never sounded good. And if it wasn't that, I wasn't getting the type of beats that really matched what I was doing or what I vision myself as an artist. Honestly, I've been dipping and dabbing trying to do beats for like the last 8 to 10 years, but really no consistency. As far as consistency, I only really been consistently doing beats for about 2 years. I had went to school at Forsyth University, never had no plans on starting a studio. I went there because I wanted to do film, I wanted to get in movies, I was kind of done with music. But then it seemed like the studio built itself, man. It's like you can't run from audio. So it's like since I was doing it, I just went ahead and, just formulated a studio and got back to, my heart's passion. You can't run from your passion because when you run from it, it always finds itself returning. Yeah, I got one more album. I'm gonna drop this Mercury album that's really like a spiritually based album. I don't really do street music no more because ever since I gave my life to God, I pretty much cater my music towards God. Now I do beats and produce for other rappers that's really not into the faith like that, or they still live in the street life. I do music for people from all walks of life. My studio ain't biased. It just ain't catered to one person. But me personally, my personal music, my music is catered to God. I mean, being a preacher and, leading God's people and still doing music, I really don't have an issue with it. I listen to some of the secular music, it really don't bother me. I mean, some of the people that don't like rap music, I mean, they watch Power, they watch killing movies. I mean, I don't understand really what the difference is. I just know what I do. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna compromise my salvation to personally put out music that don't edify God, but at the same time, I'm not gonna tell another man. One time I was doing street rap music, and sometimes I always believe that, some of those rappers that's out there in the streets, sometimes when they need help or they need they need some type of guidance or some advice, they always call me up. So I feel like I'm doing my job when they come to being in the kingdom of God, man. Mace, I'm not the type of person that judge, Mace was a pastor. He was leading people. Then all of a sudden he took a turn, went back into the industry and started, living his life, man. I can't judge him because at some point we all become prodigal sons. And Mace, he's a lyrical MC. I can kind of understand that fight and that struggle when it come down, to the money. That's why I can't judge. I never really can judge. I can't judge nobody, that wears shoes that I never wore before. So I can't really speak on Mace. I respect him as an artist and MC. Do I think that it was wrong that he did that? Yeah, I don't really condone that. But at the same time, maybe this could be for the glory of God that something may happen to bring him back, and not only will he come back, but he'll be bringing people back with him. It's everybody got their own path that they gotta walk. So I'm not one that's gonna judge. Like who's my favorite MC of this time? I really don't have none. You know, I like that guy, the baby. I kind of like him. I like his charisma, the way he rap. You know, like I say, I'm not one that really be jumping and bouncing up to the lyrics because the music don't edify God. But as an artist, I like him. You know, I like what he's doing. Lil Wayne, I like Wayne. You know, it's a couple of them out there that I still like. You know, based on the artist tip. But like, I'm not gonna really ride around and be bumping the music in my car because, like I said, I'm a man of God and I represent something different. But on the artistry level of the artist, you know, I respect what they doing, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm like down here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You know, I don't really know a lot of people here. You know, but some of the artists that I know here, they probably the illest in the city. You know, from what I'm seeing. You know, it's a group called the Loyals. That's my favorite group here in Harrisburg. Shout out to Low Gang. Shout out to Low Gang Badgick, Lumberjack Blackston, Reef Ali. Shout out to them, man. They the hottest MCs I know here in the Harrisburg area. The Loyals, man. Y'all should go check them out, man. Yeah, I mean, I lived a rough life, you know. I lived a life when I was young, gang banging, selling drugs in the streets. You know, that's why, you know, I kind of look at those guys a lot differently. You know, a lot of people say, oh, them drug dealers need to get off the corner. And, you know, they say that stuff, but, you know, I don't judge those guys. Everybody got their own time when it's time for them to make a change. You know, hopefully they live to see that change. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not one to judge, but, you know, like I say, my arms is always extended to help them if they ever need anything. You know, I don't mind giving them youngers no advice, you know, even though we living in the time where these youngers don't take advice from the old heads, but, you know, everybody got to make it to that point if you live to see it. So, you know, I just play my part when I can. You know, I give them what I got. And, you know, it's a lot of the homies in the hood, they still respect me because they know where I come from and they heard some of the stories about my life. So, yeah, I just give them I give them what God gave me, man. Yeah, I got a couple movies that I'm trying to put out. Like my first movie, I try to put out this modern day Job story. I'm trying to put out inspirational movies that help people, man, because it's a lot of people looking for answers. And, you know, I want to be that answer. You know, all the like short films that I've been seeing lately is always killing or sex, money, you know, stuff. Life I already lived that life. I don't need to keep seeing it. It's not but so many ways you can keep tweaking that story. So I want to put something inspirational out there. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I had a horrible childhood, man. I done seen a lot of things, and I see some horrible things happen to people, and I've done some horrible things. So that's why I think I cleave to God as much as I do. Yeah. You know, I always say, you know, God saves our lives, but music, you know, God gave me the gift of music. And because he gave me that gift, I think that gift assisted with saving my life, man. Because anytime I went through struggles in the neighborhood, you know, it saved me. It kept me at a level head, man. Even when it was times where I didn't know if I was gonna live or die, it was times where I didn't care if I lived or died.